Hey, this is Bart speaking, and welcome to this exciting new time in virtual reality. I'm going to walk you through and walk myself basically through installing and getting up and running with Half-Life Alyx workshop tools, which is a new release by Valve Software. Basically, it's an update for Half-Life Alyx that allows us to create official mods for the game. And this is very exciting news, for me at least. And I'd like to just go through how to get this up and running. So the first thing you need to do before running Half-Life Alyx is, of course, update all your files. And then go to the properties, and from Half-Life Alyx properties, DLC, check this box, install, which is the workshop tools. Once that is done, that will update the whole software. And once you run the program, it will ask you to run either the game or the workshop. So select the workshop. So I'm going to go through Valve Software creating an add-on basically page. So the first thing you need to make sure is to have basically everything installed, right? So once you have that, we're going to create a full our first map with this. So in order to do that, we have to create new add-on. It's going to ask us for a name. I'm going to just call this test map. And you can see here that you have either enable VR, which will allow this to run in VR, or not if you don't select this. And basically, let's continue on. So we're going to launch the tools. So you can see that this is what we first get. This is the asset browser, and I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't seen this before. This is the first time I'm launching this package. So this will be just a walkthrough and basically a first experience with this kind of tool set. I'm familiar with Unreal Engine and Blender as tools for developing and creating 3D models and running something in the engine. I had also some fun with Source Filmmaker back in the days, and I wonder how much this tool has changed since its release. It probably has. So this is the new Source 2 engine, basically, creator. And from here you can see, I think this is all the assets that are used for Half-Life Alyx. Wow, okay, you can just browse through them and see all the assets. So we're going to create a new map, right? You've made an empty add-on, now it needs content, right? So note, add-ons can be more than just maps. In fact, add-ons don't even need a map. They can be sounds, models, animations, textures, but a map is simply a starting point. So we'll use this for this example. See this page about the blah, 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 all right? So once the tools has loaded, open Hammer. So Hammer is this first tool, Hammer Map Editor. So we're going to click that. And this opens up the whole tool set for Hammer, right? Hammer is Valve's map editor and basically tool creation toolkit. So instead of starting a new map from scratch, you can import a starter template. A basic starter template is included with the tools. So in the file, choose new map from template. So we're going to go to File, New from Template, and select Basic Setup VMap. So this will load in the, okay, I don't even know how to use the interface yet, but okay, yeah, scrolling in works. Okay, so you can see there's a character here. Also, there's some assets, and it's a basic level that has been loaded in. So your map should look like this. Go to models. Okay, so here you can see all the models list that we can use in order for us to create our custom maps. So if you'd like to try building the map, walking around, now it's time. So before you build, you want to generate a preview of the light bake. That's also a very important note. To do a preview bake, go to the lighting menu where's the lighting menu? All right, here we go. It's under preview baked lighting and go to bake all lighting. Save this map before creating lighting. All right, so I'm gonna go to file, save as, and just call this test map. All right, and preview, bake all lighting. So we have that. Especially if you're new to this. Okay, so the baking has been baked. All right. There's lots of more information about, okay, to build and play your map, press F9 to choose or build map from the for the file menu. So you can go to file and go to let's try to use F9. Okay, so this is the build map test map. You can go to fast compile, final compile, only entities. Sorry about that. Or full compile. There's some settings here that you can go through. Plenty of things to play around. There's one here that the dimension you have to press build and sit back while Hammer builds your map. All right, so if I hit full compile, it will basically build this whole map that I just imported with all these. It's a basic template, right? So you'll know when the build is done, when the game engine in the foreground, your map is loaded. If you're playing in VR enabled, put on your headset and walk around. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to hit build. Save them, yes. And now Valve's Hammer is building this first template map. So in the next couple of lessons, I'm going to go through how the basic interface works for Hammer, how to move around and add and edit things, because that's what basically you need to know in order to create anything custom in this. It's nice of Valve that they provide you with some basic examples, and we'll see how that runs in the engine. I have a VR headset, a Rift CV1 hooked in here. So hopefully once this is done compiling, I can have a look at the model and run it on my VR headset, and you'll see how this performs. Okay, we're up and running. Grab my VR headset. Grab my controllers, got my gun. One gun. And now, all right. Okay, this is my second controller. So there we go. I'm in my first level that I just created. And can teleport around. And gun is working. That's really cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. Don't know if there's any more content to this template, but that's basically rolling up your first level and running it directly in VR. I have the magazine. Probably not. Okay, so we'll jump out of VR.
Pieces left.
Close this up. And that concludes our first test level that we've imported from the template. And in the next video, we're going to learn about more how this actually works in the engine, how to move around, and how to add your own objects. Actually, I don't think that you can add your own objects, although I'll have a look. You can definitely edit every aspect of the game because it's in the Hammer editor, and that has plenty of customizations that you can do to this whole engine. So see you in the next lesson. Hey, so in this next lesson, we're going to learn how the Hammer editor interface, this will be also a first experience for me at least, how the editor works and how you can basically move around and edit things the way you want to. So I'm going to close down my laptop for a moment. So we're back in our level. This is our first template level. If you haven't seen how to create this, go and check out the lesson before. It shows how to do this and get this up and running. So this is our first level. In order for us to move, you hold down the right mouse button and you can basically use your mouse to move around. And as you would expect, WASD are like an Unreal Engine, the movement that you can use to move around your scene, right? So I'm going to just play around and see how far I get before I get completely stuck. So bear with me. I want to just look around models and see what do we have here. All right, let's start with the basics, right? We need a toilet. So we're going to drag in the toilet. Once we have a toilet, we also need, all right, is there a way to search? Props, name filter, props. Okay. So if I type in chair, I'll get only chairs, right? So if you use props, you'll get, I think, all the models, but you can also search by specifics. So if I want a chair, there we go. I can drop in a chair. Okay, we need a table also, right? This is like a stool more than a table, right? So let's search for tables. Tables are bigger, a lot bigger. By default, I can see that everything snaps, which is useful. So you can get a sense of at least how the objects should be positioned. All right, so first let's say I want to rotate an object, right? Because I'm just dropping them in and I'm not actually even moving them around or anything. From the menu here, you can see there's a bunch of tools that basically do this. Right, so rotate that. Rotate this. And move it up in here. So, okay, I want to turn off snapping. How do I turn off snapping? Let's go through here. It probably has to be some kind of toggle, right? Okay, so if you ever get stuck like I do very often, the best source of information is the software documentation, right? So I googled hammer hotkey reference and this came up, and you can see here all the shortcuts that they use. And let's just hit Control F and search for snap object to grid, and Control B. All right, so let's try to hit Control B. All right, so okay, I get it. So by default, everything snaps, right? But if you hold Control, you can do precise measurements. So yeah, makes sense. So hold Control in order for it to move around precisely where you where would you like to add the object, right? You can also use these boxes here to move the object independently all around the axis, right? So yeah, hotkey reference. This should be printed out maybe, or just look at it a lot. It will help you a lot. These are the most useful things that you need, like grouping, viewports, 2D views, 3D views, all the selection tools, the camera tool, block tool, texture application tool, displacement editing tool. All that here is oh, sorry for this. You haven't seen exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to jump into Hammer now and show you again exactly how it happens on the interface. So once you load up Hammer, you can start dropping in things, right? So I'm going to cut out the first portion of the video where you just saw my face for no reason and you didn't see what I was doing in the interface. So in order for this to work, so I'm going to go back. You can search for models here. So if you just type in props, you get all the props. If you type in table, you get tables, right? And you can quickly drag in an object and it will just pop up in the interface, right? And by default, all the objects snap to the grid. But if you hold Control, you can precisely align them where you need them to be, right? And this is very important. So I showed before this website. This is the Hammer hotkey reference on Valve's website. I encourage you to have a look at this and see exactly if you're searching for something that, you know, it's hard to find in the interface, it's probably here in a shortcut, especially when it comes to things that you used to in 3D modeling. They should be around there. So yeah, we figured out how to add objects, snap them, how to run our level, and let's have some more fun here, right? I'm gonna drop in a table, a glass, right? So I snapped in the glass and just move it here. I'm gonna add some small props, right? Just something like this, maybe a eraser, because why not? So also shortcuts for moving objects around. Q is for scaling, right? If you need to scale the object. E is for scaling. R is for rotate, and T is for transform. So those are the basics. So T transform, R rotate, yeah, I can see here that I was rotating, for some reason I was rotating the model. Interesting. I have to see if that affects the engine in any way, like the placement once you grab things. Maybe not. We'll see. So yeah, you can just keep on dropping objects here and just start having fun and adding them to the scene, right? Yeah, the model actually, it's called the rigid model or whatever it is for the physics. It actually rotates. So you can see how fast I'm creating a scene here, right? Just using these simple objects here from just by searching table, right? sorry, I want to save this, right? Control S. So yeah, you can see here the objects are added. T for transform, right? Oh, sorry, where did I go? So yeah, I would expect that all this, I thought that was floating in space, but that's because I haven't baked the lights, right? So if I bake the lights, everything should be fine. I want to add also a light. Are these lights? No, these are player profiles. Let's look for lights. Or actually, let's just type in a light, see how that works. So you can see here, you can add models of any kind of lamps you would ever need. Let's just add this model, right? All right, see how that behaves. I also want to do some, let's see here, what do we have? Particle effects. I'm just going crazy here. I'm just going through the engine and just seeing what it offers out of the box. And there's plenty of stuff here. I can, yeah, there's like X-rays and stuff. Zombie revival. All right, no, I think that's something else. Or anyway, yeah, it's particles, right? Some kind of particle system. Explosion. What do we have here? Overlays. Yeah, overlays, as you can see, work in a way where you can just drop them on the scene and they will act like they were, you know, let's see, let's decorate some stuff here. I would imagine there'd be more here. This kind of stuff. I guess you can import your own. It's a vmat file. I have to check. So yeah, I'm just adding a decal, right? Just to make this scene more interesting. Some kind of graffiti. There you go. And just another graffiti, because why not? There you go. And once we have that, so also if you hold down while in transform shift, you can duplicate quickly models, right? So if you hold shift plus control, you can duplicate a model and precisely place it where you need it to be, right? So you can see that all the shortcuts here are pretty well thought out, which is good. So I'm going to see if I can add a character here. Got Alyx here as a character. It's rotator. Okay, so we've quickly just added some stuff here, pretty random, of course. There's no design around here. I just wanted to basically show how how adding models works. So we've got a character also, which will move on to the next part of the lessons once we want to trigger animations and add more functionality to this. There's basically a whole AI aspect where you can control what the character does and what happens based on what happens in the scene, right? And there's plenty of the other things here to cover that basically you wouldn't be able to do really quickly. Let's just one more thing. Let's add a nice particle effect, because particles are always cool, right? large embers. Okay, so we got some kind of explosion now. Let's look for something else. I want something more gentle, like kind of a mist. I don't know. Plug impact. No. We want more fog. Nope. Let's search for. All right, let's just add electricity. See how that works. Okay, so we got some kind of electricity going on and some kind of flare here. Just add this flare and oh, here we go. Here's some volumetrics. So these are all the assets that are used for basically triggered when something happens, like explosion or any kind of things like that, basically, right? What do we have here? We've got plenty of things here. There's so much stuff to just browse through and see what it is, because it's such a massive game, right? And you can also, you know, create stuff in one level and then merge it into another level, which is also outlined here in the documentation of the Hammer in the tutorial section, right? Pretty cool stuff. Interactive stove, right? Let's bring in an interactive stove, right? This makes a little bit of context, at least in the setting here that we're doing, right? That's kind of a kitchen. Usually stoves are placed what? Like that. Also, I'd like to learn how to lock objects, so they don't get in the way while working. So if I hold down Shift, I can multiple select objects. So I'm just grabbing this whole set of objects and I'm gonna hit. I want them grouped, or I can create a prefab. Let's group them. So now if I select, how does this work? How does grouping work? Or is it maybe a prefab? See a prefab. Control R. Selection set 01. Nope, still not. Okay, I will have to refer into this documentation. Anyway, let's just grab all these and make them somehow real world, right? I'm gonna also move the character, the start character. I don't know what this is yet. Some kind of object. And let's move the valve character here. So yeah, so you can have a look here now once you start designing your scene, right? So we've got, let's do now the basic bake all the lighting. Before compiling, you always have to bake the All right, so we got this going. Now we're going to go and test this map on virtual reality. So I'm gonna just go to hit F9. And I'm gonna do, yeah, build, just leave it as is and just hit full compile and build. Yep, I wanna save. And I'm gonna go into my VR headset now. So you can see how fast, it's pretty fast, this engine, how quickly it compiles and runs and, you know, launches up, compile stuff, and the whole Torah, the whole asset management is basically, it's a huge library of assets ready for you to use that are already set up, that have dynamics, that have all the needed textures and everything just basically done. So it's a great modding tool for future virtual reality experiences. So I'm gonna just wait until this quickly compiles. And in the second lesson, we learned how to move around, edit things in the most basic way. All right, I'm gonna throw in the headset. Well, there you go. I have some glitch. I don't know why, but I'm just in this weird area. Right. Maybe I moved something without moving something that I shouldn't supposed to move. All right, let's move this guy back here. And we're gonna turn off Half-Life Alyx. Oh, here we go. Jumped in. Okay, that's weird. Basically had to go to the menu, the Oculus menu, and go back. So, yay! That solved that problem. So I'm gonna move back here a little bit. Ah, shit. Yeah, that's. Sorry for that. So yeah, here we go. We've added our first objects here. So let's see if we can pick them up. Nope, we can't pick them up. Probably has to do with all the engine configuration. We'll have to basically let the engine know that this is a grabbable object, and then we'll probably be able to pick it up, right? So yeah, they're basically immune to bullets for now. Same with the character. He's just can have a look at him from the close-up. And yeah, we don't fall here because of the effects that we've added, right? So that concludes our first lesson in adding new. Let's just switch here VR. Yep. Okay, I don't know why, but it just exits the whole thing. I have to figure out how to, but it saves everything, which is fine. Not too bad. So yeah, this concludes our second lesson of first experience actually working with this engine. Let's just open quickly our level again, our test map. And yeah, you can basically just, you know, imagine working on this and adding new things. And quickly, you know, let's just add the kitchen stuff, right? And there you go. So in the next lesson, we'll learn about how to make these maybe objects destructible, or basically be able to interact with them in some way. I'm gonna try to figure this out. So stay tuned, leave a subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next lesson. Thanks for watching.